Can the Miami Heat find a way to get Naz Reid on this roster for the 2026 season? I believe there's three ways where the Miami Heat can get Naz Reid on this team. I break down all the details and more on another episode of Miami Heat Talk. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we push for 7,000 subscribers. Now that we got that out the way, let's hit the intro.
That is enough said.
Happy Taco Tuesday, Heat Nation. Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope you guys are enjoying your day so far, living your best life. Now let's rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure, because on today's episode, guys, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of the Miami Heat getting Naz Reid on this roster. And I know it may seem a little bit difficult to do, but I think there's three different ways where the Miami Heat can get Naz Reid on this roster. Before we get there, the reason why we're talking about Naz Reid, you guys, he does have a $15 million player option that he can opt out and become an unrestricted free agent. Now, it was reported recently that Naz Reid is expected to enter free agency. This was by Mark Stein, an inside reporter with the NBA. Very credible. He also reported that Minnesota does have some difficult decisions to make this offseason. They have a $30.9 million player option that Julius Randle must decide what he wants to do. You also have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's a free agent. Naz Reid as well. And right now, you guys, this is the way that we're going to be seeing the new NBA, because the way it was a few years ago, you can just overpay and spend for your players. And all you have to worry about is the luxury tax, where you're basically paying $3 for every $1 you're spending. So teams would have a hefty luxury tax bill, but that was pretty much it. But then in the 2023 offseason, the NBA implemented this new collective bargaining agreement where the first and second apron were entered. Now teams that are contenders have to make difficult decisions, because players like Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who are quality good role players, when they become free agents, they're looking to get paid. And their teams can't do that, because when you go over the first and second apron lines, you become extremely hampered when it comes to making moves, especially when you're a second apron team. You have no mid-level or biannual exceptions. You can't aggregate players in a trade, which is add multiple players in a deal. You can't take more money than what you're sending out. You can't sign biannual players. Your future first-round draft picks get locked. That's the reason why the NBA is shifting to a new direction. That's why dynasties and big threes are going to be very difficult to do. Teams have to maneuver and finagle ways a certain way to do that. But with situations like this happening, it opens up possibility for other teams. When you look at a guy like Naz Reid, ladies and gentlemen, he would be, in my opinion, the perfect fit for the Miami Heat. He fits the timeline. He's 25 years old. 6'9", 264 pounds. This is a guy who is a former NBA Sixth Man of the Year. You need size coming off the bench for Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware. He gives you that. This past season, he averaged 14.2 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2.3 assists, almost a block, almost a steal, 46% from the field, 38% from the three-point line. This is a guy who you implement on this roster, he's a perfect fit. Even if you're running it back next year with this roster, you guys, with Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Kel'el Ware, and Davion Mitchell, with having Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic coming off the bench, you're drafting with the 20th pick, you can get a guy like this with your mid-level exception, and then you have the other dogs coming off your bench. It's a better team. And it gives the Miami Heat something they need, a dog-like type of player. Players like Naz Reid, Bobby Portis, these are type of players that the Miami Heat need. Now, the true question is, it's not just the fit, it's how you get this done. Naz Reid is most likely to opt out of his player option, which pays him $15 million. Right now, the NBA salary cap is bumping up to $154 million for the 2026 season. Right now, The Miami Heat, with all the players that they have on roster, being about 13 players, they have $176 million in salary. That's $18 million over the salary cap. So right now, the only thing that you can offer Naz Reid is a mid-level exception, which starts at $14 million a year. What the Miami Heat can do, they can offer Naz Reid a 4-year, $62 million contract. It's a little bit of a pay raise from what he's getting. Not the first year, but by the second, third, and fourth year, it is technically a raise. Another reason why this contract works is that when he's in Minnesota, he's paying state taxes. You come to Miami, you get a similar contract, but now you're not paying state taxes. So you're getting a lot of that money back. It also works, you guys, because this free agency isn't really going to be a huge one when it comes to salary cap. The only team that really has money to spend is the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets can offer Naz Reid a pretty chunk of change, but he'll be going from a contender to a middling team in the East. That wasn't even a play-in team. Maybe you'll compete for the play-in. If you put Naz Reid on this roster, they can contend in the East, especially if it's weak next season. Then if you're able to make a trade for a Kevin Durant, that's adding more firepower. Now, why would Naz Reid want to leave Minnesota for Miami? Well, because of what I mentioned earlier. He may not have a choice. Minnesota has some difficult decisions to make this offseason. Are they going to bring back Julius Randle, Nickeil Alexander-Walker? What are they going to do with Naz Reid? They got some tough choices. So the Miami Heat can just swoop in and take Naz Reid. Now, the Miami Heat do have two other options, because let's be honest. A 4-year, $62 million, which is a mid-level exemption that you can offer Naz Reid, he may command more in the open market. Naz Reid can probably get a contract starting about $20 million a year. So that would leave the Miami Heat with two options. The Miami Heat do have assets on their team where they can move. If you're able to trade Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier and not take a lot of money back, trade them for second-round draft picks or lower-level players just to create cap flexibility, you can get yourself under the salary cap enough to give Naz Reid a better contract. But the likelihood of something like that happening, where you're trading Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier, even if they're expiring contracts for second-round draft picks or cap flexibility, not likely. Like I mentioned earlier, not a lot of teams have money this offseason. So this is where you have option number 3, a sign and trade. This is where both teams are benefiting, where Minnesota is not just losing Naz Reid for nothing. If they know Naz Reid is gone, they can work out a sign and trade with Miami where he can get a bigger contract. The Miami Heat can, let's say, trade Minnesota Jaime Jaquez, Duncan Robinson, and a future first-round draft pick. They get Naz Reid. Now they can give Naz Reid 4-year deal worth about $75 million. And if you put Naz Reid on this roster, who fits in the timeline with Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware, with Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell, and then making a potential trade for maybe Kevin Durant, I think that's a team that can contend in the East. So Heat Nation, let me know what you think. Do you think there's a possibility that the Miami Heat can get Naz Reid? Do you think Naz Reid would be a good fit on this roster? Do you think there's a possibility and a chance? Let me know in the comments your thoughts, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for the continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.